Hi folks, I have developed a number of apps for a company called Scorpion Technology, and if you go over to their website, which is scorpiontechnology.ie, and then scroll down the page, you'll actually see a menu option and it says Learning Center. So basically what you do, there's a number of learning options here. You have a Morse code trainer, amateur radio quiz, solar saving calculator, general radio codes, and CB radio simulator. So we're going to go through each one and we're going to show what the apps do. So the first one is the Morse code trainer. And the idea of this app, Morse code in itself is quite boring to learn. I've tried it myself and it's very boring. So what I did was I've turned this Morse code trainer into a game to make it interesting. And the idea is you have been stranded on an island and you have a radio, but the radio only allows you to use Morse code. And you can hear Morse code coming in, but you can't reply because you don't know how to use Morse code. So the whole idea of the game is you power on your set, and then what you do is you go through different levels of learning the letters. Okay, and as you practice each one, you click on each one, and as you practice each one, it unlocks the next level, and it goes through each level until you get to the end where you know enough to do your Morse code exam. Now in Ireland, with the Morse code, you need to have, I believe, 5 words a minute, and it does include not just letters and numbers, but I believe punctuation. So this is the whole idea, is to get you to a level where you're ready to do your Morse code exam. But the idea is it's a fun game by doing day 2, day 3, unlocking each part of the game. Okay, so if you're into Morse code and you want to practice your Morse code, then basically you can go in there, and there's other options in the there. It tells you what Morse to use, the numbers there, and the punctuation as well. Okay, it tells you about the actual app and everything else there. So if you're into Morse code, that's the one to go into. Okay, the next one is the amateur radio quiz. These are just over 200 questions in different areas of the amateur radio quiz. And it's obviously Irish based, but a lot of the questions will also be, they will also apply to other countries as well. So as I say, there's over 200 questions there in different areas of amateur radio, and you just go in and one area here you see that has 30 questions, and it'll tell you how you did and how many you got wrong and what percentages and everything else. And if you go down here, it tells you all about the exam and everything else. So again, if you want to practice your exam questions for amateur radio or ham radio, you can go in here and you can do that. Okay, so the next one is, this is just a basic solar calculator. So for people interested in looking to, especially in Ireland, if you're looking to get solar install and you're not too sure what the cost will be and what to be, how much will be involved, basically what you do here is you type in your ESB bill or your electric bill, and whether you pay it monthly or bi-monthly. Is your roof facing south facing for the sun? Obviously, if you live in Ireland and the northern climes, it'll be south facing. And then your postcode or your zip code, as they call it in America. And then you can say, do you want to add battery storage? Is there any grants available from the government? And are you going to sell the actual power back to the grid? And then it does a calculation as to the cost, a rough idea of the cost involved. It's only an estimate, and then you have an FAQ there. There's a few questions there regarding your solar calculator saving. Okay. The next one is just a code desk. Obviously in CB radio and amateur radio, there's a lot of 10 codes, Q codes, Morse code. And the code desk that's basically what it is. You can have your all bands, so you can have your 10 codes there, and it tells you your 10 codes, and it even gives you the Morse code for the 10 code. You have the Q codes, you have again the Morse, and you have a bit of slang as well, a bit of CB slang that you have in there. Okay. So just if you want to check up codes, that's what you can do. You can put them in there, and you can check them. And then the last one will be, some people want to play around and try out CB radio, but they don't want to buy the equipment. You want to have a play around first. Well, this is a CB radio simulator, and it brings you through building the station, tuning and calibrating the radio, going live. So they show you an example of two stations talking, and then when you go on air, you key the mic and you repeat what it tells you to say on the screen, and then the actual, and when you unkey your mic, the radio station will come back to you and talk to you, and then you do that and you get radio check and stuff like that. And it's just a great way to have a practice with CB radio without having the equipment, and you don't have to be nervous, or because some people, when they buy a radio, they're a bit mic shy and you don't want to talk to anybody in the radio. So this is a great way for beginners on CB radio to learn how to use the CB and just the basics of CB radio as well. So that's be handy for them as well. And the other thing as well, for some people don't know, Scorpion Technology have released the first ever Irish CB radio handbook, which is on the market now. This can be purchased internationally as well. If you live outside of Ireland, what I'd suggest you do is email Scorpion Technology, sales@scorpiontechnology.ie, and they will send you a link and for purchasing outside of Ireland, because it's only their e-commerce site is only designed for people buying in Europe or Ireland, and the UK would not be on that list. So for people in the UK, for example, or maybe further afield that want to buy the book, they can actually send an email, and Scorpion Technology will send you out a link where you can actually buy the book internationally and globally through the publishers. So there you go. So folks, if you're interested in any of these web apps and you want to give them a try, just go over to the scorpiontechnology.ie website, go down to the Learning Center. So you have Morse code, amateur radio, solar savings calculator, general radio codes, and CB radio simulator. You might find them interesting. Cheers.